This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started. Listen to that sweet, sweet music, kids. You know what that means. It's time for Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esther, and with me is the man behind the screen, the wizard himself.
Phil me, and Perich.
That's the guy. Hey! The wingless wizard. The one man, just as smart as Reed Richards, but totally never gets the credit for it.
Okay.
Gravity discs, man.
I know.
The man is dreadful. The guy is like done so much, and he's like still considered like just a second-rate villain. And it's like, no, he's actually way smarter than like everybody. And not for nothing, he does it all without like, he doesn't have a country. You know? Mm-hmm. Let's be clearing his tech from anybody else. He's like, I guess I'll just figure out cloning today. 40s technology. How Zola cracked it. How hard could it be? And he's like, there we go. Cloning. Done. I did it, you know. There you go. That's how you play, man. The wizard. So of course, if you did not listen to Capes and Lunatics, which I'm sure everyone gets their news from.
That's right.
I'm sure there are people it's the only source of news that people can trust. We have gotten the sad news that Stan Lee has passed. Mm-hmm. And there's one rock troll out there living under the rock.
Bill Maher.
We weren't going to say his name, but okay. Yeah, we gave him enough free footage on the other one, but
I know.
Yeah. Aside from him, it's pretty much a universal agreement that Stan Lee was in fact the man, as his name implied, and he is gone now. And it is a tragic and sorrowful thing. Although, like I said, I haven't seen a body yet, man, and we all know in comic books, no body. You know, they could bring him back, man. I'm just saying.
I know.
You know, and I want them to. You know, I want to know that there'll always be a Stan Lee cameo. And you know, they've tested it with Netflix with the picture of Stan Lee in every scene. You know, and I think that's where we're going with this, and I do think Stan Lee will be around as a presence forever. As
technology gets better, I mean, would you want like a hologram or something of Stan Lee, or? I
think Stan Lee would want a hologram of Stan Lee.
True.
You know, not for nothing. Stan Lee's like the one guy. Yes, you can monetize and market my image after I'm dead. Yes, I'm all for that.
200 years from now, I can still be in the movies. Yes.
Yes, you know, hey, not for nothing. Jan Lee needs the money too, you know. Mm-hmm. She's still around. Yeah. But it is a tragedy, but it is, you know, it is a slow motion tragedy. It's one we knew was coming, and we knew, you know, it's like any other thing. It's like, you know.
Yeah. Some of the drama, and he has had health issues.
Yeah, you know, but he didn't want us to worry, you know. Like every great old guy, he's like, I don't want the kids to worry about how sick I am. You know?
If only he had moved in with Kevin Smith.
Yeah, well, you know, Kevin Smith would have killed him in a day. No. That man doesn't eat right. I don't know. I mean, I know he got the surgery.
He's eating now because he had a heart attack.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. So maybe he could.
I think he's vegetarian now. He's not even eating meat or anything now.
Oh wow. Well,
he dropped a bunch of weight. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not the fat man on Batman anymore.
Maybe he could have prolonged Stan's life. Be like, here, man, have some weed.
There you go. Medical marijuana could have saved Stanley. That'll be the story. I don't know. I mean, you know, like I said, he's not really gone because he'll be with us forever. That's the whole point of being one of the most influential creators of the 20th century. You know, he is up there with Shakespeare now. You know, there's going to be Stan Lee stuff being poorly made, just like Shakespeare gets redone every couple of years. years by someone that just doesn't understand Shakespeare, people are going to be making bad Fantastic Four films forever. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Hopefully the next one will be good. Hopefully.
Yeah, well, and Josh Trank, to his credit, said, I blew it. And that was like the first time he ever said he blew it, which I think is a real... it kind of tells you that, you know what, stuff like this, it brings out the reality.
That's the first time in public he said, I'm sure
where
that opening weekend, he's like,
No. But he was always blaming other people. But he said he let Stan Lee down. And you know what? You did. You did, Josh Trank. I'm glad that you can now admit that film in the future. Because it is what it is. But, you know what? I'll say this. We have that footage of him as Willie Lumpkin, and you can totally just drop that in and into the next Fantastic Four film. You can even have that exact same hand in Reed Richards' mail, and just have the new Richards. Thank you, Willie. Just like they did when they sent them back to the Trouble Trills episode. Remember that? That was
yes.
I forget what they called that. Trials and Tribulations. Yes. And you can do that, man. You can just drop that Stan Lee anywhere. I got a package for Tony Stank. It's and I still say my dream cameo for Avengers 4 is I want him back in his FedEx outfit delivering Cap Shield to Stank Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want him to. Is there a Stank Rogers here? Hey, I got this package for you.
No, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something like, hey, take care of your stuff better next time, kid, or something. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'll say is I can imagine that cameo just that would have been the cameo they'd want to do, because of course it is going to ties into that last thing, and it does give a nice bookend because we know Cap needs to get his shield back anyway. And I think having Tony have FedExing it to him with the name Stank Rogers totally is a way to say we're friends again, burying the hatchet and working in a great Stan Lee cameo.
True.
I think it all works out perfectly if they do that. And I could imagine that. I could imagine I can't imagine I'm just the most brilliant guy in the world thinking of that. I think that the writers over at Marvel Cinematic Universe probably figured that would be a really cool way to end Avengers 4 too.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, and I think they should do the two Stan Lee cameos, because they should open with Stan Lee fading away at the start of the film when they show everyone's fading away. Because that's the thing, is like we saw all the heroes fade away, but you need to see like everybody, like real people fading away too. That this is really everybody. And like I said, if they hadn't shot that scene, they should use that scene from The Incredible Hulk where he drinks the soda, and just start with that, and then just have him go and then fade away. That'll be perfect. And then you have him come back at the end. So after the Avengers save the day, Stan Lee's still with us. And that's how you end Avengers 4, Electric Boulevard. So that's my hope for their tribute to Stan Lee. Everybody's doing a tribute to Stan Lee. I was watching the old Incredible Hulk series today, and they did their little in loving memory of Stan Lee at the end. So that's good.
How awesome would it be if they did like a final cameo that explains why he wouldn't be in future cameos? Like, I don't know, like he ascends to be part of the Watchers or something, or...
Oh, no. Because again, why?
Not true.
What? No. The best tribute to Stan Lee is to say Stan Lee isn't gone.
True.
Stan Lee will always be with us. That's the whole point of Stan Lee, is he is immortal through his creations. And he will always be with us through his creations. That is why Stan Lee is incredible, fantastic, amazing.
Oh, is that why?
Superlative.
Is that why Avengers 4 is going to be like 3 hours long? Because a half hour of it's going to be a Stan Lee tribute.
You don't need to go over the top, but like I said, there will be some kind of reference to Stan Lee in it, and I do think that, like I said, I think it would. Like I said, I think it is... like I said, I was surprised they didn't do Stan Lee's cameo as Stan Lee fading away.
Yeah.
At the end of Avengers 3. Because I thought that would have been the most fitting thing to have. But maybe they didn't want to... Maybe they didn't do that expressly because they were worried oh man, we make Stan Lee fade away at the end, and then he actually dies.
I was gonna say they don't want to tempt fate. Yeah,
exactly. So I think that's why they didn't do it in Avengers 3. But now that we're here, and you could do it because it's like, well, he fades at the beginning, but then he comes back at the end, and we're all square. I can see that happening. Basically, I don't think anyone, when they were writing Avengers 4 and Avengers 3, didn't think about this, Because not for nothing, it is an elephant in the room that, someday Stan Lee was going to die. We're doing a story where half the universe dies,
Did you see that? Did you see that meme online where, those ones where people's brains are keeping them awake at night? And this one I saw was just like the brain telling the person, keeping them up. In Avengers Infinity War, Nick Fury's whole plan is based on the fact that Captain Marvel didn't disappear in this snap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is the plan.
I just saw it as a Hail Mary. It's like, okay, if she's still here, hit the button.
Well, yeah, because obviously this was a cosmic level threat. Basically, people disappearing. This is a Galactus level threat. And he is...
I'd say even more so, because, Galactus can only hit, one planet at a time. This hit the whole universe at once.
Oh, yeah. And without a doubt, this was something that, if you have a Hail Mary, you throw it.
Yeah.
And I think that Captain Marvel will be coming back. Captain Marvel will return in Avengers 4, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see that at the end of the next episode. In which they're actually, that's probably when they're going to announce the title of Avengers 4, Electric Boogaloo.
I thought they said something about there was supposed to be something, I don't know if it was an official announcement or a teaser sometime this month, and I don't know, we're getting close.
Yeah, it might be. Who knows? I mean, they might do that.
I'd say this month or next month we'll probably get a teaser, and then I think they did it for Infinity War. We'll probably get the full trailer during the Super Bowl or something.
Yeah, the only thing I heard officially was that the title has been said in the films. So that was an official statement from one of the Russos. It's the Russos that do it, right?
So so it's not Annihilation?
No, it's unless someone said Annihilation at some point in the last 3 Avengers films, or the Iron Man films, or Spider-Man Homecoming, I think it's there's gonna be something. I think it's gonna be Avengers 4. I got that reference.
Avengers 4. I could do this all day.
Yes, exactly. But like I said, I think it's just gonna be called Avengers 4.
I don't know. They kind of seem like their fancy titles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, entirely possible, but, they only, let's see here. It was weird that everyone says only the original Avengers are left, except Brody's left too.
Yeah.
So he's not an original Avenger, because, Tony forgot to call him. Actually, did he have the suit by then? He had the War Machine suit by then, didn't he?
When?
But by the first Avengers film. Did he have it or no?
Yeah, because he got it in Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah. Avengers, yeah.
Yeah. I can never remember the exact.
So I wonder if they just mean. I wonder if they just mean all the characters are still here that are from pre-Avengers movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not just the Avengers left because Rhodey's still there. It's like Rhodey's still here.
Ant-Man too. Yeah.
Ant-Man too. Oh yeah, because he's in the quantum realm. Hello, and that's why he survived, man.
Yep.
But like I said, man, those ashes didn't fade. There's something going on with that, man. Because it's not ash. It's depixelization of the reality. I hate when people say it's ash. Not ashes. Those ashes faded. They actually look like leaves if you really look at them. I'm just saying, there's stuff going on. It all connects. There's lines going everywhere. But yeah. So speaking of Ant-Man, that's a great thing. Speaking of Ant-Man, there is a new show on Netflix I wanted to talk about, which features Hank Pym, the actor who plays Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, called The Kaminski Method. It's Alan Arkin and Michael Douglas as 2 aging people, and it is really brilliant and really good. And of course, it's made by Chuck Lorre, and he rips on The Big Bang Theory just constantly through.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. A couple episodes of you don't want to be on The Big Bang Theory. Well, you're a real actor. It's actually great, and it's it's really good, and it made me realize something. I think is one of those things with Stan Lee that, and to another extent, John Cryer, where people get known for a certain thing, and people forget how deep they can be within that thing, and even outside of that thing. And I think that, when you look at something like the Kaminski Method, it is this really touching and moving comic drama about, being an old man in Hollywood. It's kind of a unique position to be with, but hey, something I'm sure Stan Lee understood, being an old man in Hollywood. And it's from Chuck Lorre, and it is really brilliant, just like, but it's easy for people to, Chuck Lorre, he just does, he just did 2.5 Men. How is that going to be deep and important? Well, Stan Lee just wrote comic books, but he also understood the human condition in ways that I think a lot of people did. And I think that was what was most fascinating about Stan Lee's books and Stan Lee's stories. And I think you see that with a lot of Chuck Lorre's productions as well, that there is this depth of humanity to it beyond, the cheap gags. Mm-hmm. It's like Stan Lee's writing comic books. They're going to be in tights. But just because they're in tights doesn't mean that the stories have to be weak or uninformative of the human condition. And I think this is where you have this great coalition of people who, coalition isn't the right word, but it's the word I use, where people have this thing that they can bring to a table that you never see, because all people are seeing is that surface. And if all you look at is the surface, this is why, I'll say this, is that Stan Lee has made Wortham more famous than Wortham ever could have hoped. As Stan Lee's imagined antagonist, Wortham lives on just because Stan Lee basically makes him look like a punk, and I think that's one of the great things about Stan Lee, and I think that, the fact that he brought depth to it, and people like Wortham, people like that troll, they look at the surface of comic books and they say, oh, what could this ever be? What's the humanity? What's the hope in it? And it's like, it's something about the human condition. It's myths that have been with humanity since the dawn of time, retold and reimagined for a modern age. It's something that is great and powerful, and that teaches us something about what it means not only to be human, but to be a good human.
Yeah, I think Wortham, like our troll, yes, sir, you are a troll. I don't think they even looked that deeply into it. I think they're just trying to make a name for themselves.
Well, of course. Wortham, he actually had a name for himself, but he was guilty of poor science. What Wortham actually did was he said, I look at juvenile delinquents. Juvenile delinquents read a lot of comic books. Ergo, he was confusing correlation with causality, meaning that he saw that juvenile delinquents like comic books, but assumed that was because they were delinquents, not because they were juveniles. Yeah. Because all kids read comics. Every kid was reading comics, but because he's only looking at the juvenile delinquents, says, but what do all the juvenile delinquents have in common? And rather than saying, well, they're all young people from broken homes, often because their fathers died in wars, which is true, Basically, he's talking about poor little Steve Rogers there, getting into fights all the time because he doesn't have because his mom is sick and he has to work. He's not getting his education. He's not living up to his potential. And William says, well, it's because you're reading comic books, kid. And Steve Rogers is like, no, it's because my dad died in World War I. Mustard gas.
Wortham was just like the early version of, video games and rap music are ruining our children.
Yeah, well, exactly. There's always basically, no parent ever wants to say, it's because we're lousy parents. No one's ever said that was Bill Cosby. What's that word?
Well, Bill Cosby was telling other people what they were doing wrong. Meanwhile,
and he had his own thing with the rep, the music, and things like that. So
he didn't like people working blue or
and as Richard Pryor said to Eddie Murphy, tell Bill to have a Coke and a smile and shut the farm up. So, that's one of my favorite moments from Eddie Murphy Raw is he's talking about, when Bill Cosby called him to complain about his swearing, and he didn't know what to do, so he called up Richard Pryor. He says, "Oh man, because Bill was an idol for Eddie Murphy because he was, that most famous black comedian in the world at the time." And and he says, "Well," and Richard Pryor said, "Hey, did they pay you? Did the audience laugh? Then tell Bill to have a coconut smile and shut the farm up." So I'm censoring myself. That's not really what Richard Pryor said.
I know.
Yes, I don't want people to think, why is he saying farm up? What does that mean? Anyway, Stan Lee, he will be missed, like I said, but he won't be missed because he'll always be with us because his legacy always be there.
His legacy continues to keep going on and growing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the good news we got yesterday on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got renewed for another season after this one that's coming up.
Yeah, and like I said on Capes, I think it's because I think it's a lot of things. I think one thing is that I think that all of the bad blood at Marvel Cinema has gone away. I think that basically Disney put everybody in a room and said, "You guys are going to play nice because I don't need this." Disney doesn't need the agenda. Doesn't need your kids fighting all the time. And this was a product like Cloak and Dagger that is 100% Disney owned.
Oh yeah.
Unlike that Netflix stuff, this is 100% Disney owned, and they can do what they want with it. And I think they understood they needed to do that. They needed to have this be their show. And it is popular, as it has recently come out. It is more popular than any of the Netflix shows. That as a recognized brand, this is a show that everybody has a positive view of and is aware of more than any of the Netflix shows.
But I mean, I don't want to talk bad about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, it's a great show. I like it, but do you think they get better ratings because they're on broadcast television as opposed to the Netflix stuff where it's behind a paywall?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's easier to get at, and so that gives it more notice. I mean, but of course, that may be causal, but it is irrelevant. Doesn't matter why it's more popular. It's just that it is. Maybe if you had a Daredevil, if Daredevil had been on ABC, then it would have been popular or more popular. Or maybe because it was on ABC, it would have had to pull some punches or probably it would have been going through the exact same stuff that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going through at the time, which is that disconnect between Marvel Television and Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Netflix shows are great, and I know we've lost 2. Half the Netflix shows gone in a snap, as they say. Although not actually half, because there's actually 5. People forget about the Punisher. Yeah, it's a show; it's there, But actually, what I think really hurt the Netflix shows is that I think there just wasn't as much urgency to it, And it's sort of like with the Teen Titans, or the Titans show. It's like if there's not an urgency to watching it, what is my motivation to sit down and do the binge, And I think, because like I said, I'm doing a podcast on Iron Fist. I still haven't finished Iron Fist. I have not even gotten past episode 3 of Daredevil, And, this is why the show is hurting, because I don't have an urgency to watch it. As much as I love the shows, my life has been complex and things, and because it is put out all at once. So, for example, with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I can, if I miss like the first 3 episodes, I can go back and I can rewatch those. And that's a bingeable amount. 3 episodes is a bingeable amount.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, and like I said, I've watched 3 episodes of Iron Fist, I've watched 3 episodes of Daredevil, but I haven't gotten back to watch the rest of it.
And like you say, like the weekly stuff, it's like, you're like, oh, there's another one coming next week I gotta watch, even if you have to binge like 3 episodes or something.
Yeah,
with like the Netflix stuff, they drop the whole season at once, and it's like, okay, I'll get to it when I have a chance, but I know it'll still be there a month from now, 2 months from now.
Exactly. And of course, that ironically, I think that's what works against DCU, because of course I did cancel DCU. I had it. I had this 7 days. First off, you're only given 7 days, DC. You're really betting that people really love your stuff, and you're not giving us what we need. Because here, I will tell you, what made me make that decision? The final straw that broke the camel's back. Because I said, okay, so, I'll catch up with the Titans. I've watched half the first episode. It was good, and I'd like to watch it. But you know what? Okay, I'm supposed to have all these DC comics here. Mm-hmm. So I type in Ambush Bug.
I knew it!
Who's Ambush Bug? We don't know that guy. We're going to have more comics coming soon. It's like, well, you should have had them now. You should have had. It would have cost you nothing to just put it. I didn't even need like the first time. I just wanted Son of Ambush Bug because I wanted to reread it because I realized that the Dr. Manhattan story is just the Interferer story, but like made more maudlin and like affecting like real continuity as opposed to out of canon. But it was just an annoying thing there. That like, okay, why not? Especially if you're catering to deep dive DC fans.
I think that was Lilith's problem. She said she thought they rushed it, which they probably did. Instead, before they had a chance to load it with everything, they just they wanted to launch it.
Yeah, but why do you do that? You don't launch something before it's ready. No. That's how spaceships blow up. That's how Reed Richards should have waited. Everyone knows it. Like, okay, it worked out great. He got superpowers, but his friend got turned into a thing, and freaking his brother-in-law's like turns into fire now, which isn't good. It's never good to turn into fire, even if you can control it. People get hurt. His wife can just ignore him now because he can just disappear. It's like, oh, where is she? I don't know. And he gets all stretchy. It's like, like that's a good thing.
On that note, did you read Fantastic Four number 3?
And actually, that was one of the things I was actually thinking about that because I was realizing how elasticity as a superpower does not work in video entertainment, generally speaking. Hmm. And really, it's because you can't really do the flows the way you do in art. Mm-hmm. So when you want to show Reed, because there's some great images of Reed using his stretching powers in the fight, where he's like doing like crazy backflips with his feet on the ground, and it's really cool looking. I was thinking, that would be great to see in a movie, but you realize how difficult that's going to be. I think that's like your biggest problem with Fantastic Four as a film is you have like you really have 3 CGI characters. You have the Thing. Although you can do the Thing practical effects, and I actually think that the Thing in practical effects actually looks good. Mm-hmm. I think you can do the Thing in practical effects and make him look good. But Johnny Storm has to be CGI, and Reed has to be CGI, and really Reed's powers are even more complex than just doing a Man on Fire. Man on Fire is actually relatively straightforward,
Yeah.
But doing a guy that's just like doing that kind of to show the power as a power and not just a gimmick. I'll reach and get the toilet paper. It's actually, or I do this one thing that has me stretch. It's difficult. It's like Medusa and her hair. And I said the biggest problem with Medusa is that her hair wasn't alive. Her hair has to be alive. It has to be this thing that is always moving, always undulating.
Yes.
Always alive. In the same way that a human body is always moving. And Reed, with his elastic body, he's always got to be moving in that CGI method. And that's why I think it's the hardest character to actually translate into the movies. Because the second he gets into a fight, he has to use his powers well. He's got to be stretching and enveloping. And to that extent, I actually do think they actually did an okay job of that in the first Fantastic Four film. Not the Roger Corman one, but the first mainstream one where Stan Lee does his Willie Lumpkin cameo. I think they actually did a good job with him for the most part, but it was still still wasn't as good as it should have been. So that's still the best Fantastic Four film that they've done. I'll be honest with you. That was it's not that good, but it's still the best one they've done. The one before it was okay. I like the Roger Corman Fantastic Four film in the same way I like the 1970s Captain America and the 1970s Spider-Man and 1970s Doctor Strange. Those were all good shows, but they weren't always as good as the later ones we've got. Mm-hmm. And of course, I like the 90s Captain America too. So what do I know? Although, like I said, they took a lot of that stuff and put it right into the comics. The idea is Red Skull has a freaking Red Skull now.
True.
Cult of Cassidy now in Venom.
Oh yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, gonna bring Cassidy back. Oh, that'll make Tristan happy.
Yeah.
He was my big problem with the Fantastic Four book, though. Because, the first time I said, the Griever, she's clearly not an esoteric concept. She's clearly like an elder of the universe. Because she's using ships and stuff. And they never quite get to what she's supposed to be. Because the way they defeat her, and it's brilliant, everything, and it's brilliant the way they do it. But they do it like she's an elder of the universe, even though they've established that she's supposed to be an esoteric concept. That she... And not for nothing, it's kind of weird that she is now going from simply grieving dead universes to wanting to destroy universes. I just don't feel the character very well. And like I said, I don't feel that they've established that she's properly an esoteric concept. So, in that sense, it's a little disappointing to me. I loved the book as a read. I love the characterization. I like everything about it, but I felt that the villain really was not a villain that made sense, that worked well.
The villain was like a plot device.
Yeah, but not a well thought out plot device.
No.
You can have a villain be a plot device. That's fine. Dr. Doom is just a plot device.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom is just, what if we had a guy that wore an iron mask? What if we had a guy that looked like the Grim Reaper? That was basically their idea. I want a character that looks like the Grim Reaper. And so they did the hood and the metal skull face kind of thing. And that's what they created, and that's what they did. And it was, it works great. And he's really just, just a bundle of bad villain tropes.
Yes.
There's nothing really special or unique about Dr. Doom. He's no Otto Octavius. He's no.
Who is?
Yeah, he's no wizard. But he's very popular and he really works for the story. And he's logically consistent. He's logically consistent in his inconsistencies as a character. And so it all works out in the end when we're dealing with Dr. Doom. The Griever, it's like I said, I don't know if she's supposed to be an elder of the. Like I said, I feel she's an elder of the universe. Maybe she's like a next level thing. Maybe she's like an elder of the multiverse. Maybe that's what she's supposed to be, an elder of the multiverse. And we're gonna find out there's this other group of elders of these first beings to come into existence in the multiverse. So she has that somewhat esoteric concept, but like an esoteric concept wouldn't have the inability to move between dimensions.
Or is she going to be just like an alien woman who tries to fool people into thinking she's a cosmic entity? Like that episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where that chick tried to convince Picard she was the devil or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's 100% what she is. Yeah. I think she's, like I said, she's an elder of the universe kind of character who's trying to convince people she's more than what she is. Yeah. And I get that maybe she doesn't know how to build things, and that it's just not in her nature to build things. But again, like I said, I don't if her name is the Griever. Basically, you don't grieve the thing you destroy. So she can't be a Griever because you grieve when something dies, but you don't get mad when it comes back. It's like, no, I'm a Griever. Things die, and I feel sorrowful for them. That's my motivation. I can see that, and not for nothing. I can see that as an elder of the universe kind of concept. Like that, what is the thing that keeps me from dying? The fact that someone has to cry at all these funerals. I can see her being the first being to experience death, and when the first being died, I was there and I had to mourn them, and then another being died and I had to mourn them, and then them, and and it works in that elder of the universe concept, like the Collector, like the Champion, where there is this action that they take that gives them their immortality. And like I said, nothing in the book actually gives you the idea that she is anything more than an elder of the universe. There's no quality about her that makes her seem like she is an esoteric being, except that she disassembles the Molecule Man, because that always works. And
she has the power level to hold off all these heroes, battle all these heroes.
Well, yeah, but so does the Collector.
Oh yeah, they've
all done it a dozen times,
Yeah.
And not for nothing, it's not like she snaps her fingers and they're gone. Mm-hmm. She's destroying universes because, not for nothing, these are Franklin Richards bubble universes. These, these things aren't the most well-designed universes in the universe.
He's just like Franklin Richards fart. Yeah.
Yeah, Franklin, he's not good at his job. Nobody makes him in charge of things. But
I did like how they played up like Ben Grimm as like the heart and soul of the team, because when Spider-Man like tries and fails to give Franklin a pep talk, that's when Ben has to step in and just be like, come on, kid, come clobber with me, you can do it.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. That's the thing. And I love that you are not going to tell him he has the ultimate power and the ultimate responsibility. You're not going to put all of your issues
your baggage
on poor little Franklin. Yeah, it's like, you got issues, Pete. We all know it, and you're not going to put all that on poor old Franklin, Because the thing, though, is he is Peter Parker, because he did reveal himself to the Fantastic Four. Well, that may not still be canon because that universe got destroyed. And no, it actually would still be canon because this is actually the thing from the original 616 universe.
Yes.
It all works out.
So what's this untold tale of Iceman being a member of the Fantastic Four for 5 minutes?
It's non-canonical.
Back when Namor...
Yeah. And I love that whole guy. Basically, they're not really members of the Fantastic Four, but yeah, they sort of are. Although technically, shouldn't Doom have been there then?
Oh, yeah.
Really, Doom, the Wizard, the Mad Thinker, they were all part of the Future Foundation when they got the input of the evil people. Diablo should have been there, man. Diablo would have been cool.
That was Future Foundation on Fantastic Four.
It was still an FF book. In fact, it was the FF book for a while.
Reed is very literal.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't want... Also, if you bring Doom to it, Doom, could you help us fight this cosmic entity? Oh, can I steal her powers?
Exactly. 5 minutes after Doom's there, he's going to be like, I have her power.
Yeah, it's like, just one time, Doom.
Not again,
One
Victor.
time.
You had one job.
It never ends well, Doom. Not for nothing. Every time he steals ultimate cosmic power, it's like Jafar at the end of it. It's like, oh yeah, now little tiny living space.
I want all the wishes.
Yes. It does not work out for you, Doom. Stop it. Just like, Doom should have been a pastry chef. I think it would have been a fantastic pastry chef.
Oh, you know what I just thought? Since Ben Grimm's getting married, he's got the big fingers and he's always clobbering. Is Reed going to make him like a big adamantium wedding ring?
Well, of course.
So it doesn't get damaged when he's clobbering.
Oh, that'll be cute.
I mean, it'll work as brass knuckles, but it'll also be a symbol of his love.
Like he needs brass knuckles, but I would love to see. But I don't think I've ever. Reed doesn't wear a ring. Huh.
Well, he's always wearing gloves. He's always wearing gloves, though.
Oh, that's true.
Could be under the gloves.
Could be under the gloves. But I've seen him without gloves, and I've never seen him wear a wedding. I don't think I've seen Sue wear a wedding ring. I think that maybe they just say we're always fighting, and so. But it's
Reed Richards. He probably we don't need wedding rings. I have genetically bonded us to each other.
Well, technically, when you are with someone, you do actually share, pheromones and things that bond you as human beings to one another. That's why it's very hard to leave the person you love.
Our powers are linked.
Well, exactly. Not for nothing. Now all their powers are linked. That's that whole storyline. But yeah, it's interesting. It would be neat if he does wear a ring. I'm just waiting to see him smash the glass. That's because it's going to be a proper Jewish wedding. And
he's wearing the
he's wearing his little kippah.
On the cover of it's what is it? I think it's only 2 issues from now. So what was it?
Yeah, it's an $8 issue though.
Is it still? Because didn't they raise the price, or is that what they raised it to? Is $8?
Yeah, it raised to $7.99. Yeah, I'm getting it though.
Because I know they added.
But you were talking about DC Kibbering from Marvel raising the books to $3.99. Here's Marvel saying, "Hey, we got a big issue. Let's just charge $8 for it." What the heck?
It's the thing. It's the Thing wedding. It's what is it? Issue 600. Oh yeah, we're raising.
I want to see if the Puppet Master is going to be there. You would think he's going to be there.
He should be.
Have him in a little what do you call it? Hannibal Lecter mask. Just sort of don't let him get near any clay.
every 300 issues, Alicia or some reasonable facsimile has to get married.
Yeah, well, there you go. Oh, boy. I wonder if Elijah will show up,
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, did you see the panel on the next last page? I don't know if Ben's telling Sharon the good news.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Yeah. Sharon
That's rough. That's awkward. Awkward! I was nice to see Sharon come back, though. Actually, you know what really intrigued me the most about the Fantastic Four is the last page. Not of the book, of the next issue. We get the cover splash of the next issue.
Oh, yeah.
Who are these people? Yeah.
Bizarro Fantastic Four.
Yeah, well, I mean, that obviously, I guess that's supposed to be. Well, it's called the It's obviously like a play on the Terrifics,
Yeah.
And because apparently Flat Man's black now. That's okay. I can live in a world with a black flat man. I'm okay with that. It's not a problem for me.
But he's wearing glasses. Are those unstable molecule glasses or something? Are they moving with him?
Well, if he is, I'm guessing because the way he's designed, he looks like Flat Man. So I'm guessing he's supposed to be a variation on the theme of Flat Man.
Yeah. And
Flat Man, I think Flat Man actually wears glasses because Flat Man's actual power is that he actually becomes two-dimensional. That's ironic for a Great Lakes Avenger. He actually becomes. I'm a two-dimensional character. But yeah, so I believe he actually does wear glasses and it does flatten out. I could be wrong on that, but I feel that might be a thing. And the fact of the matter is, like I said, they're clearly poking fun at the Terrifics. And so you tried to do a Fantastic Four. It did not go well, did it? Because not even I read the Terrifics.
I know you probably didn't read it, but did you read Infinity Warps #1?
No, I just started to just before we got.
Okay.
I really want to read it, but you can spoil it for me. It looked fun. That's like what is this? This is their Fantastic Four fold, and I know that we got Squirrel Girl and Tippy Toe have been bonded to Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl, which is cool.
Yes, and they have to fight Dr. Doom Cactus.
Yeah, Dr. Doom Cactus. Yes, I like that. And who are the other two people? Because we got like a flaming thing and a.
Oh yeah, what is it? Hot Rocks and Mr. Invisible.
Oh, Mr. Invisible.
Fighting. It's a combination of Mole. I think it's Mole Man and is it Master Mold because it's where's his full name? Master Mold and his Centenoid slaves. Okay,
well there we go. Hey, I always like a good Mole Man story. So I'm looking forward to that Infinity Warp. That looks like fun. So it's the Terrific 2 now joining up with
brothers.
Oh, brothers. Okay, went up in space one day, and we've got. Is their last name Storm or is their last name Graham or what's their names in that? Like
is Ben and Reed Storm.
Ben and Reed Storm. That works. I can work with that. No, it looks like a fun book. I was really excited about it, and I when I first downloaded it, I wasn't quite sure what it was because it's on my phone. Like once I got to it, and who's the green person?
Oh, that's a combination of Black Widow and She-Hulk.
Oh, cool! I thought that was what it was going to be.
Yes,
that sounds like fun.
There's a story with her working with I don't know if they use their names, but it's a combination of Kate Bishop and Hellcat.
Oh, cool!
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be a great book, and like I said, I hope the Infinity Warped universe continues on in the way that the Amalgam never got the chance to. Although I think officially it is canon that the Amalgam universe does exist out there somewhere. You know,
past the copyright, past the corporations and copyright laws.
Yeah, AT&T and Disney now they're not there. Yeah, that's. Those two giants of the universe. I think AT&T is bigger, although it's made more mistakes over the years and has such a convoluted story. The whole Time Warner AOL thing that ended poorly. But yeah, I did read Venom. That was nice. That was good. Get the maker there, and like I said, I get the feeling I don't know. I'm still not sure how I feel about the maker. I mean, I don't like him in general because he's like an evil Reed Richards. But he's not like a cool evil Reed Richards. He's like a boring evil Reed Richards.
He kind of showed up when the Fantastic Four is missing. Are we going to get a Reed Richards versus Maker battle?
Probably. I mean,
it has to happen. Come on.
And of course, Reed Richards is going to defeat him. So.
Outsmart him, yes.
Yeah, because he always does. Because he's the best Reed Richards. Because he's the one who understands. You can't just be Reed. You actually have to be a part of the Fantastic Four. He's like the one person who he's the one, and this would be a perfect thing to bring up about Rick and Morty. Like the Ricks who stayed with their families are like the happy Ricks, and they're actually the smartest Ricks because they understood that all this other stuff is meaningless unless you have, a family to go home to. So. That's that. Love that aspect of it. Love that book. And
but yeah, got a nice little shout out to Flash Thompson and Venom. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll be back, man. He'll be back. Well, I mean, it's kind of one of these things where, it's kind of like the death of Captain Marvel, where it's like they really can't bring him back because his death is too iconic, But they brought back Bucky, They brought back Bucky. All the people to bring back. Uncle Ben's still dead.
He's a Spider-Man character. They'll clone him or something.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll get cloned. That's the thing. And I think that's what they sort of established here is that, we can bring back Flash Thompson at any time. It won't be Flash Thompson, but we'll just recreate him from something. But, the idea that the symbiote holds Flash Thompson's DNA, and it has been established that the symbiote could I actually really liked what they sort of did in that book, which was have Flash Thompson as the personality of the symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would have been a really interesting take on it.
Yes.
But then they said, no, we're not going to do that at the end of it. But I get the feeling the symbiote's healing, and that's sort of what it's going through now. And like the symbiote is probably pulling from Eddie to heal itself, and will eventually maybe recreate its own Flash Thompson from that.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been cool. That
was like hard being like the second choice of the symbiote. Like, I really liked Flash. Flash was cool, I don't want to be with all you jerky supervillains. You really ruined my day,
Flash didn't want me to eat brains and stuff, man.
Yeah, what did I want to eat so many brains? I get more from chocolate. Just give me chocolate. That's all I want. You guys are always blaming me for eating the brains. That's not me, dude. It's not me. It's you guys. You guys are just weird,
All he ever wanted me to do was change appearance and help him hold his guns. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, man, we had a great time.
Some web swinging,
Yeah, it was like, that's why I say, I think the hosts, they blame Venom for their evil, but I actually think, Garrigan and, Garrigan was like, oh, I ate a guy's arm. That really freaked me out. It's like, no, you wanted to eat that guy's arm. There's not even brain matter in there, and you ate the guy's arm. It's like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you blaming the Venom symbiote? It's like, I'm just a symbiote, man. I'm just along for the ride, I'm basically just getting nutrients from you guys. So, I don't know what all this eating brain stuff is about. You guys are weird. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you racist? You think all aliens eat brains? Okay.
Yeah, well, exactly, Anyway, and like I said, it's not like Flash Thompson ever ate anyone's brain.
No.
And the symbiote was alive in him, and I think that's where you first start having the conversation with the symbiote, where the symbiote really has a connection with someone.
Yeah.
Never eats a brain. Not once. They've never been like, oh, Flash, we got to go eat some brains. Because not for nothing, Flash has an addictive personality. He was an alcoholic. You could have made Flash eat brains real easy if your motivation was just wanting to eat brains,
Yeah, no, Flash was just like, help me in my mission, I'll treat you right.
Exactly. Flash is a decent guy. Once he got over his whole bullying phase, he was actually a pretty decent guy. Once he dealt with his issues, I
mean, he was a bully, true, but that's because they revealed, he had like an abusive alcoholic father, though.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. It's like with Flash Thompson, it's like, oh yeah, he had a rough childhood,
mm-hmm.
and that it doesn't excuse bullying, but it also explains it. It explains it, doesn't excuse. And the fact of the matter is Flash Thompson, once he dealt with his issues, like most villains, once he dealt with his issues, he was actually a pretty cool guy. Like freaking Molecule Man. Once he went to therapy, he was like, I don't want to take over the world anymore. It's okay. I actually don't need to impress my mom that much, you know. And then he settled down with Volcana and actually had a nice life for a little while. Then, the Beyonders come and it all got mushed. But he'll be back, Then he got, all of his selves were the Molecule Men. They have a hard time. Anyway, Philip, what else was there to talk about? I sent you a list, but I know we talked to
I don't think you sent me a big list. We talked to Convince.
Heard everything.
Method, you can't see the universe. Yeah, I don't think you sent me a big list this week.
No, honestly, I can talk more about why DC Universe is not worth $7.99 for one show. That's the thing. It's for one show.
Oh, did you want to? We just barely grazed on it on Capes and Lunatics. Did you want to talk Thor?
Oh, well, I loved Thor. Thor was actually a really good book this week. And what I loved about Thor was that it was something that they touched on before. Like I said, when
Thor 7.
When I forget her name, but some random goddess when they were living in what was it, Iowa? When Asgard was moved to Iowa or something like that.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, that's what it was. I knew it was one of those states. Anyway, and the goddess falls in love with some dude, and then, Doom kills that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Doom was like, what would you care? Why should you care about a human life? You'll live forever. It's exactly. And I will grieve forever because of that. And this is what happens with Thor. It's Loki says, I'll make him fall in love with a human woman. And then when that woman dies, he will be horribly, horribly depressed and he'll never go back to Midgard. But, of course, it has the exact opposite effect. It's no, I will always hold her in my heart because I am immortal, and it would be a disservice to her if I abandoned her home because of it. Now I am bound here forever because I fell in love. Which always makes you wonder, was that Loki's real plan or what,
Yeah, because back in the day, Odin wanted Thor not to be so connected to Earth or Midgard. Yeah, so Loki's here, I'll make him fall in love, and then I'll take her away.
Exactly. And what I loved about that was it's not like Loki actually killed her. Just let time be the assassin.
Yeah.
40 years, because time passes differently in
I was going to say, I love that Thor's I was only gone for, and He's 40 years. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I saw today? That was also really good? She-Ra, Princess of Power on Netflix.
Oh, yeah? I haven't watched that yet. Is that good?
Yeah, it's actually very nice. It's very nice. It's a lot of fun. Definitely has that Rebecca Sugar vibe to it. Not just in character design, but with character creation and storytelling. But it treats the source material very nicely, but also builds up this other universe in its own self. And I really like that. So, I don't know what all the complaining is about, I guess she doesn't have as much cleavage as the old one, but, neither did the new Wonder Woman, and she was great,
I see there's there's some kind of thing on the internet where a lot of people there's a backlash against the new art styles, I guess.
Well, yeah. People don't like that style, but, as other people more versed in art styles will tell you, actually, no, that's just the norm of the animation industry, is that certain styles become popular, and then it's the Filmation style became very popular, and then everybody tried to make their stuff look like Filmation, and before that, everyone tried to make yourself look like Hanna-Barbera, and it's just whoever is the dominant art form, that's what people copy, because that's what people like, and that's what people are responding to, and basically, it's not that, they make all the cartoons look the same now. It's cartoons have always all looked the same. It's that's, the only people who ever did anything different was Raskin and Bask, and that's because they did stop motion. But all Baskin and Rask stuff looks exactly the same,
But I mean, I think a lot of it, people put their own take on it too. You're going more from, hand drawn stuff to computer animated stuff. And a lot of it's nostalgia, 40-year-old people saying, it doesn't look like it did when I was 6,
Well, of course not, but it looked horrible back then, too. That's the thing people forget, is that animation used to be really, really bad.
Yeah, I know. And if they don't change it, then then people will be like, they do the same thing over and over, and they never change anything.
You can't please a troll. You can't please the internet. And you shouldn't try. You should never try to please the internet.
Even if they have a TV show, you can't please a troll. Nope.
There are people that don't even like this show, I'm sure. You know. I don't understand it either. I think this is a great informative romp for the people of the world. But
I want to be like on that episode of Seinfeld where his mom's like, "Don't you say that! No, you're a wonderful boy. No way, no one can like you."
Yes, exactly. So I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I'm sure out there somewhere there's someone that doesn't find me a delightful host.
I find that hard to believe.
I too. I think I'm wonderful, but
I think I'm great, but
I know my wife doesn't listen, so So. She's like, I hear enough of that every day. I don't need to listen to your podcast, Charlie. Anyway, okay. So that I think is everything to talk about this week. Philip, how can people find you?
If you want to get a hold of me, especially for interviews for our podcast, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. And follow the Capes and Lunatics on all the various forms of social media. Facebook, Twitter, @Capes Lunatics. Our voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-Capes.
Very good. Does anyone know who this character is? This is just a toy that my son got in some package, and she's cool. And little Japanime kind of blonde girl with a scythe, so that's awesome. But it's like I have no idea who she's supposed to be.
You don't know what property that's from, or?
No, I don't know. And it's like Sailor Death, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, if anyone knows, you can go to YouTube, check it out, so you can see. Let us know. Maybe you'll win a prize. Okay.
Charlie Esser's gratitude.
Yeah, it's a prize in itself. And if you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way to let me know who that character is, feel free to do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as a live tweet, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cloak and Dagger, where I predict Monica Rambeau will show up. I think that's going to be part of the new integration with the Captain Marvel film and everything else. I think it's all connected again. Now that Phil Coulson's back, he can connect it all. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing! There we go. Thank you for connecting with us, ladies and gentlemen. Please super connect with us once again next week. Good night.
Good night.
Did we go long this week?
I don't know. We might have. I mean, usually around.
I just noticed it's almost noon. But yeah, we did the other one 9, but that I know that went long.
Yeah, we took a longer break in between, so I mean it was probably around an hour, a little more.
Okay, yeah. I like to do it less. I like to do like a half hour, but I can't stop talking. You pull the pin. Everyone
loves Charlie Esser.
Hooray!